Hey guys, it's Heather from Tomatoes, Poppies, and Everything Gardening. Today is a beautiful spring day. I think it's like March the 22nd. It is windy, but I wanted to head out and I want to share with you what I've been working on. It's taken me several weeks. I think I started, goodness, beginning of March, and took some pictures along the way and video to share with you. I made a new gardening bed and I'm really happy about it, and I do have things actually growing in it right now. A few things did get a little burnt from the frost we had a few nights back. It got down to 22 one night, 24 the other, but I think they'll bounce right back. Um, what else was I going to tell you? I don't know. It's just been a rough few weeks. So kind of my videos are kind of hodgepodge together. I've done some recording, I've done some pictures, and then I'm like recording this today when I actually did all the work, several weeks back over the course of many days or weeks. We've just had, my grandma, the one I call Mama, she was in the ICU for 3 or 4 days. She is home now and doing fine. And then I had one child who had his wisdom teeth out, and that was a 2 or 3 day kind of ordeal here at home. And just some school testing. Some of my kids have had to get out of the way, and spring breaks, and just a few things like that. So it's been a little bit, just a little bit different kind of rhythm and flow the last few weeks. But I'm trying to get back into the gardening, keeping my seedlings alive. It's that time of year where things are really going to start kind of snowballing if I don't stay on top of them. So let's head out. I'm going to show you the new garden bed. All right, guys, here it is. It is my new L-shaped bed. So I built this one last spring, this L-shaped bed. And when I kind of redid this area all back here by the fence line, that was what, 6 weeks ago? I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks ago. There were bricks on the back where the fence is that I had put there when the last dog, who's moved away, lived there. He kept digging nonstop under that fence. So I had put bricks all back there. Well, now that he's moved away and the new dog that lives there doesn't try to, dig up all my dirt and mulch, I was able to take those bricks and build a new bed. And I think it looks great. I'm going to give you some different angles. Oops. It's very windy. So that's the old bed I built, and then here's the new one. It's kind of the same shape, just slightly different. There's about an 18-inch walkway. That's like the minimum you want when you're building your garden beds. 24 is ideal, but I kind of needed the sun, so I had to shift it more over here. But 18 inches I can work with. And I went ahead and transplanted that Roman chamomile that I started indoors late December. And then I also transplanted some red bee balm. I think it's Jacob's Climb. And this bee balm was in a planter on my deck all winter. It did turn a little bit yellow after the transplant, and that's either from the cold nights we had just a few nights ago. It got down to 22, or this bed is pretty rich at this point, like fertilizer. Could have been a little too much for it, but I expect it will be fine. I also planted some flaming badger beet seeds on the inner L shape. So all along there are the beet seeds, and then I also planted German chamomile all through the back here on the back side. And then I think what will happen when the time comes is this is going to be a tomato bed. So I think in the center I will be able to fit, probably with hard pruning, keeping my tomatoes pruned, probably 4 to 5 tomatoes in this space. And I need that because remember, the HOA took away a lot of my growing space out front. So it's either going to be tomatoes, which I think that's where I'm leaning, or maybe I'll transplant my my red cabbages over here. They're still little seedlings, so I'm not sure. It's a process. Let me get you one more angle, and then we will go backtrack in time, and I'll show you step by step how I built this bed. so that you can make your own raised beds with just some bricks and cardboard and dirt. So you can see I tried to line this up so that the walkway and the edge of this new L-shaped bed is kind of symmetrical. I kind of have a few little OCD issues like that, so it took me hours to get those bricks just right. And then finally I just kind of said, whatever, I'm just gonna live with it. So that's it, guys. Let us go and backtrack and look at how I built this bed with just a few simple things. The grass is coming in really nicely. I'm so excited about that. Okay, so for the raised bed area, that's going to be basically an in-ground planting space with bricks to outline it. I put down the cardboard as you saw in the pictures last night. I've wetted it many times. I'm going to go over there and put some brown paper bags on the openings where you see the grass peeking through. And then we're going to start layering. I think I've got some native soil to put, and some leaf compost, some cow manure compost, and then I've got some in-ground gardening soil that we're going to top it off with. And then this is going to be a space for maybe tomatoes. We'll see. I need to watch my son here in the next couple months to make that decision. At least the front part here, where I'm putting the water right now, that front part section of the L shape, that should definitely be fine for tomatoes. Not sure about farther back in that back section, but I think this is going to look really nice and complement everything. So let's get to layering. And I did not weed at all. I did not pick any weeds, did not pull. Maybe a couple things I pulled from under the bricks, but I just literally laid the cardboard and then put the bricks right on top. So let me go give you another angle of this bed. Okay, so I spent a lot of time trying to make this walkway outline edge line up with the raised bed edge. I've been driving myself nuts trying to get it perfectly straight. I'm at the point of just being okay with however it looks. It'll look fine. Right, Tonto? So I did a layer of native soil, and then I used leaf compost, I used cow manure compost, and then I put a thick layer of garden soil. A lot of these bags I actually got on clearance at Lowe's, half price, because they were open. Every time I go to Lowe's, I always look for bags of open products like that, because it's a great deal for me. So that didn't take too long at all. I think it looks great. I don't know, that's probably about 4+ inches of layering of compost, leaf compost, and soil, and native soil. And so, of course, Tonto, So when you're making a bed, you want to know the way your sun travels before you decide where you're going to plant what you're going to plant. And so I think what I'm going to do is put this Roman chamomile, which is very short growing, not that tall, kind of in the front border on both sides. Because it's short, it'll still get the sun. And then in the back, I want to put the taller German chamomile. And then maybe in the back of this section and into the corner, I'm going to put my red bee balm. So I'm going to divide up the red bee balm, plant it throughout the back here, and then we'll put this Roman chamomile in the front.